On AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now,
The only man to give death a near Johnny experience. Johnny Harden.
Yo, welcome into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I am your good buddy, Johnny Radio. We got a million things going on today. And when I say a million things going on today, we got basketball. It's going down like right this second. We also have, well, let's just say a little bit of this, a little bit of that, mixed in with a whole lot of fun because we got Russell Copeland at 2 o'clock. We're going to get deep up into some of these sports conversations, college football, what's going down. Also going to ask a wide receiver, who's he like in the, to get the Larry O'Brien trophy since his Lakers and all that stuff are playing tonight. What a day. What a day. Good news, bad news, sad news for some people. Tell you one thing, Celtics fans might be freaking out. Tell you another thing. Cardinals, I owe a huge apology to, except for the Cubs that saved my life last night. Thank you for coming back and winning that last one. After they lost, and lost, I figured the Cubs are eventually going to win one, right? And boy, it did not look good. And I was close to just beating somebody up, probably myself. I was going to beat myself, Gabe. And then all of a sudden, the Cubbies! They came back and win, and I ran around the place like an absolute damn lunatic. Had a great time. Last night, though, in basketball, again, we're going to talk about some of the serious news that happened. But, man, Jason Tatum, what do you say? He's pretty damn awesome, and I've been saying that. Ben Simmons, though, in the first quarter, wow. But, man, that's why I said Brad Stevens is a hell of a coach. And a lot of people today who have been on these, not these airwaves, I'm talking about TV airwaves, have been like, Ben Simmons, you had a great first quarter, but you got to keep doing it. You did this in the first half. You took more shots in the first quarter than the entire second half. Do you understand what adjustments are? Do you understand what it is to double team the dude right off the bat? Brad Stevens made adjustments. The 76ers had no answers for those adjustments. But anyway, I just had a good time laughing at people going absolutely bananas. Like all of a sudden, Ben Simmons is a big, gigantic turd and scared of the basketball and doesn't want the ball in the fourth quarter and all this stuff because Boston D'd up and they did the right thing. I'm sorry. They're missing Ben Simmons. Embiid did what he had to do. He fought like hell in the first half. I mean, first quarter especially. But, dude, Boston... I said it from the very beginning. I said it yesterday. Brad Stevenson is the coach. And guess what? He's actually pretty damn good. And somehow we forgot that after we did give him a lot of love when he was a little baby and he looked like a child. He still looks like a child. But he's a hell of a basketball coach. Then I got to say something, man. What the bleep? Donovan Mitchell. What a game. And for it to end like that, tears. Congratulations, though, Donovan Mitchell. You are becoming a superstar. One of the questions, though, I want to ask at 67129, Jamal Murray, Donovan Mitchell, who you got having the better career? 67129 is our text line. Don't forget, we're in the Family Leisure studio where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, their baller shot callers out at 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. You can go get right now like a swimming pool price for 2020 and have them install it at the very beginning of next year. You can go get your patio furniture on. You can get your game room stocked up because guess what? The reason you want to stock up your game room, Because, baby, we got games, man. Magic and Bucks 24. And guess who's winning? Magic 21, 24. Bucks only 21. We're in the first quarter. Let's go under 225, baby. Let's go. I think you know what I have. Now, lots of stuff, again, that we're going to get into. I do also have to say one quick thing that's going to make Gabe probably sad. But I found out something just...
Why you got to make me sad, man?
Because I'm sad.
You haven't let me talk this whole time since you opened the show, and now you're going to make me sad, man.
Are you ready to be sad? Because I almost cried. I did. Well, actually, I did.
Well,
I'm a big baby.
What's going on?
Bro, man, I hope this isn't real. And I need somebody out there at 67129. Like, the media people looked real. Like, everything looked real. And I just turned on the wrong damn channel this morning. 6 o'clock in the morning, don't watch TV. And don't turn on the damn news. North Korea is going around their military and rounding up all house pets. Dogs.
Oh, yeah, that's
cats.
happening. That
is real.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, I would fight to death for my dogs. Like, you ain't taking my puppies away. They're like family, bro.
So I heard. Is it really for the reason that I've been
They don't
hearing?
want to be, well, no, it's not. From what I've understood from people that I talked to, actually, because I reached out, they're saying it's because dogs and cats are westernized. That's what the Western likes to look at them as animals and pets, and they use them as pets. They don't want to be westernized, and they're not letting the truth out. Is they're going to take them because they have no food. And
that's what I was trying to say.
They're going to turn in pets into food to give to their country.
That's what I've been hearing.
And that's disgusting. Like right now, I will give food. Just don't take people's pets. I mean, they live in hell already, and then you want to take away their like puppy or their cat or whatever. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I cried like a mug when I read that. I'm a big softy though. Like when it comes to my animals.
I don't think you have to be a big softy to be hurt by that.
I mean, an ant. Like, dude, those are our people, man. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. I know. I mean, anyway, you know what I'm saying. I love animals, and if you didn't know it, you do now. And I hope to God that this doesn't happen and somehow we stop this because I was even telling Honey, bro, if people are taking away animals and stuff, I'm ready to go to war, yo. I ain't playing with that. Don't be trying to take away my puppy. It's on. Like, Honey goes, would you do that for me? And I was like, well, yeah, of course. I don't know if I'd be as emotional about it, but yeah, no, I'm just playing. I was playing with her. But
I will say this. Don't take my dog. Don't even think about it.
Don't think about touching my dog, damn it. Oh, I don't even like it. Like,
you ever seen Taken?
Is that where the guy who takes I saw the very first one. Now, I think there's like 10 ones after it. But
where he's talking on the phone?
Yes.
He's like, I have acquired a serious amount of skill through my years.
Yes.
Dude, I will find you, and I will kill you.
He did. That dude was a bad mamma jamma. Speaking of bad mamma jammas, we got basketball, and the baddest man on the planet Earth right now in basketball, the MVP is Giannis. Guess what? The Greek Freak is doing what right now? Losing by 10 damn points. That's right. Magic 33, Bucks 23 into the first quarter. That's not a joke. We also have day baseball going on. I got picks coming out the frame. Russell Copeland's coming on to talk about the National Football League. By the way, also the stuff with North Carolina, other things like Notre Dame I heard Gabe talk about early. We got a whole lot of stuff to get in when it comes to college. I'm also going to talk about Kevin Warren, too. I've never seen anybody take more heat in 3 days than this man has. And again, I don't feel like in any way were his intents malicious on hurting anybody. But okay, as some of the people who went out there, he didn't care about the people he hurt or the jobs he destroyed. He's just a selfish... Dude, I actually heard somebody try to call him a dictator or whatever. I'm like, dude, chill the hell out. If we had a czar in football, we might have football in every damn state, period. Or we might not have it. I don't know. But if we had strong leadership, we'd probably be better off than where we're at. But guess what? 67129 is the text line. You let me know how you feel about anything we talked about. But right now, it's time for my good friend at G_Coon71. That's right, my good buddy Gabe Coon, to let him know that I'm in the box. I'm ready for the leadoff.
All right, let's lead it off. Let's lead off the leadoff with a little bit of NBA. It's very simple. Gordon Hayward's going to be out with a grade 3 ankle sprain for the Celtics. I want to know the bigger loss, though. Ben Simmons for the 76ers or Gordon Hayward for the Celtics?
Wow, great question. I got to say one thing. If you look at the two teams and the way that they play and the way Brett Brown coaches, I'm sorry. I mean, I can look at this in a million different ways. And I also can look at it in Boston and say, hell, Gordon Hayward. Let's just be honest, man. Gordon's been pretty good, hasn't he? He played pretty, he not just pretty good. He was, I mean, Jason Tatum was 32 points, ball and shot calling all damn night. But the guy who grabbed a hell of a lot of very important rebounds, even though it was 4, they were huge. His 4 steals, though, came at crucial moments. They could have tied the game. Man, Hayward slapped that ball. Bam, gets it, starts going the other way. The dude hits the 3, and Boston ties the ball game up. And then after that, they never really looked back. So Hayward did a whole lot. And I'm not going to sit there and say Gordon Hayward is not important. But Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, of course. I'm trying to think. Theus. Who else we got? Enes Kanter. And I'm now going to just go talk about the other team because, Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart. How could I forget him? He was, dude, by the way, I do have to say one thing. When Marcus Smart got hit in the chest on that foul from Embiid, did you see that? Did you see how ticked off he got? I like that. I like that Marcus Smart has that. He don't give a damn how big you are.
Man, he's fiery.
Dude,
plays good defense.
I love Marcus Smart. I can't believe I forgot
people
about him. And damn, I love Marcus Smart. He played a lot of he can't score, but he's a hell of a defensive player and a damn good guard. Let's just be real. He ain't Tony Allen, bad offense, but he also ain't Tony Allen, good defense. Now, this is where we get back to the thing. Hayward, I feel like, can be replaced. I also feel like he's about the 4th option, to be honest with you. Simmons, outside of Embiid, it was Simmons. Al Horford does not look good, I think, with the 76ers. He does not fit them. They keep putting him out of position. Do you agree or disagree with that? I don't think Brett Brown knows how to use Al Horford. I realistically don't believe that. He was worked all night long. In fact, in all the games, I think Al Horford was the worst player that I had seen, period, in any of the games. I think he had the worst game of anybody. And he's a pretty damn good ball player, and I think the only reason he had such a bad game is because they don't even know what the hell to do with him. Anyway, I think who's gonna score for 76ers? I know Simmons can't hit a 3-pointer, but without Embiid, once they made the adjustments in the first half, the 76ers, let's just be real. Embiid, Hayward, Embiid all the way. I mean, Simmons all the way. Embiid is not Embiid without Simmons. Like, Simmons makes Embiid. Simmons and, Embiid are like two people that need each other. And when they don't have each other, you have Horford and Embiid. And guess what? That don't work.
The way I see it, though, if you're the 76ers, you need Ben Simmons to even get out of the first round.
Yes.
Now, the Celtics, on the other hand,
they don't need Hayward.
No, I think you need Hayward to make a championship run.
I agree with that, yes.
So I think there's 2 levels of importance. Ben Simmons is way more important to the 76ers, but I think Gordon Hayward, as far as a piece for longevity in these playoffs, the Celtics need him.
I think you're right, but I will say this. They still have what I like to always say in basketball. If you have a Kemba Walker and a Jason Tatum,
you'll be all right.
You can still surround them with enough. And again, they have Smart and Jaylen Brown and Theus. And yes, I'm going to miss Hayward. But man, by the way, Brown likes to shoot, doesn't he?
Sure does.
Man, he was shooting that 3-pointer last night, wasn't he? It was going down too. Tell you one thing though, I know one thing. If I'm Kemba, if I don't want to shoot, I just pass it to him because I know for one thing, all he's going to do is jack that joint. Boy, he was jacking him last night. How many points did he have?
Good question. I don't have
29, 30, 40. No, he didn't have 40. Because the high score was Jason Tatum. I think he was close.
A lot of high scoring games.
I think he was close. Yeah, everything was going over last night. That's why I went under with the Bucks and Magic.
Ready?
I didn't think the Magic were going to be able to score.
Ready to get into MLB?
Oh, you
ready
know
to talk
I'm
some
always
unwritten
ready.
rules for God's. Okay.
Fernando Tatis Jr., I'm guessing.
Yeah, Fernando Tatis Jr. He hit a grand slam yesterday, for those that don't know, on 3-0, and apparently he missed a take sign, okay, against the Rangers. Now, this put the Padres up 14-4. They were up 10-4. You do the math, 4 runs, grand slam, you get it. Rangers were mad because the unwritten rule was broken. Now, manager Jace Tingler for the Padres said
like a punk.
he's a young, free spirit and focused focused on all of those things. That's the last thing that we'll ever take away. It's a learning opportunity, and that's it. He'll grow from it. Does what Tatis Jr. Does it bother you?
Nope.
And do the Rangers deserve to be mad?
If you're a professional ball player, get somebody out. You know what I'm saying? You're a pro damn baseball player. Unwritten rules, my keister. I've watched teams come back down 7 and come back and win. Don't tell me like, oh, the lead is too large. The people who say, oh, you can't bunt and break up a no-hitter after 6 innings because that's just damn disrespectful. Dude, you're trying to get on base and win a game, especially when I'm talking about a one-run game.
And I have some pride. I don't want to get no hit.
And yes, and again, Tatis, now with that home run, who has the league in Major League home runs? Fernando Tatis Jr. Dude, the dude is a kid. He wanted to hit a grand slam, and guess what? He did it. He got 3-0, and he said, I'm looking for one pitch. And if you throw me that damn fastball, I'm going to jack that junt. And you know what he did? He jacked it. So, one, his coach can kiss my keister. Fernando Tatis has 11 home runs, only second to Mike Trout, who had 10. He hit a granny last night. Fernando Tatis has 28 RBIs, which lead the league. So, dude, don't throw one down the middle when he's 3-0. I'd have walked his ass and just give up 1 run. Let's be real. These unwritten rules of baseball, because of young people, and again, I'm a big baseball fan. I'm an old person. I used to be in all to it. I used to love the fact that baseball players would police themselves. When I grew up, 90 miles an hour was fast. They're throwing over 100. And when they are policing games and they're throwing 100 miles an hour at someone's head, that can kill somebody. Things have changed. These guys don't look like, listen, Reggie Jackson. Think about some of the big dudes back in the day. Now think about some of the big dudes out there today who are playing baseball. Pitchers make Reggie Jackson look little today. I mean, pitchers are all, 6'6", 250? Except for like Kyle Hendricks and everybody, but I'm just saying this unwritten rule and the fact that the coach even came out and said that he's a young kid, BS. Hey, Texas, do me a favor, shut up.
So, as far as Jace Tingler goes, and later Fernando Tatis Jr. apologized. Was it worthy of an apology?
No. You know what he should have said? Here's what he should have said, honestly. I'm leading the league in home runs. Don't throw it down the middle if you don't want to hit out, homie. And then he should have walked off.
And he hit it opposite field, too.
Oppo, too. He should just dropped the mic and then walked off. You don't like it?
Yeah, and you could tell by my tone asking the question.
Out.
You could tell by my tone asking the question. I think the only thing that was done wrong here was Fernando Tatis Jr. apologized.
Dude, Lance
Truthfully,
Lynn, when he throws a 9-inning shutout and stuff, is the other team supposed to be, is Lance supposed to be like, dude, I'm sorry, I shut you guys out. I should have given up a run. We beat you like 6-0. Didn't mean to embarrass you because I was that good. Pitchers don't have to apologize for no-hitters or perfect games. Why does a guy who goes out there and has a magical day at the plate, and when you're having a magical day at the plate, I wanted to ask you this one other question. Baseball, you do what more than you do? You fail more than you succeed. If you get 3 hits out of 10 attempts, you're going to the Hall of Damn Fame, but you failed 7 times. Think about that. It's a game of failure. So if you're hot as Cooter Brown, don't tell me to turn it off. I'm going to keep that flame going.
Last time I checked, the pitcher's supposed to get the batter out. The batter's supposed to get a hit, get on base. And if you can't keep the ball in the field of play,
homie,
you get what you have coming. Now, the Big Ten has a lot of miscommunication going on. I don't know. I think that's sort of an understatement to say there's a lot of miscommunication because it is ridiculous. It's rampant. Penn State Athletic Director Sandy Barber says she has not been told if there was actually a vote between presidents. Kevin Warren has been relatively quiet through this whole thing. And then now there are parents going to the Big Ten offices in Chicago for answers. Has the Big Ten botched this situation, and does this put Kevin Warren's job in jeopardy?
Absolutely not. In my personal opinion, isn't it usually – and now if he makes it to where he can look back on history, but I think that this is going to be a very short relative I don't think there's going to be like a 5-year coronavirus history. I think it's going to be like 2 years at the most, 3 years. I think they're going to find the vaccine. I think we're going to get through this. But again, you don't want to be on the wrong side of history. As I am watching North Carolina, as I am watching Notre Dame, as I've seen what's happened to the West Coast, as I've seen what's happened to New York, as 7 people that I know personally, well, no, just this is my family member. Sean died from it. Other people. I know people who have caught this thing, and it's been nothing for them, or it's been literally a living hell. We don't really know, and I think Kevin Warren, to even think that his job's in jeopardy when he just got it in January, I think Penn State Sandy Barber needs to shut his mouth. I think he needs to, like, realistically. Her. I'm sorry. Why did she come out and say that? Like, we didn't have a vote. Hold on. You didn't.
She didn't know if they had a vote. She had not asked.
Hold on. She said, okay, don't you think she should know the damn answer before she comes out?
100%. And the thing is, she probably has the president's phone number. She also probably knows exactly where his office is. Now, go there and ask.
Now, here's everything that I've read since Sandy made this stupid comment. Who should know? I don't even think they had a vote. Find out before you start taking down the president of your conference, man. I mean, come on. Kevin Warren is trying to look out for kids. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And again, Justin Fields wants to play football. He has a petition signed. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Gabe said it best. Sometimes you have to protect children from themselves. Kids are fearless. Sometimes you have to. Down here in the South, I'm hoping we have football. I'm hoping we have football everywhere. I'm hoping we're safe. I found out, Christian Brothers in Houston are playing this weekend. Did you know that? Now, I talked to some coaches, you could say, who are more worried actually about injuries than coronavirus because of lack of practicing and hitting. Or just the fact that they don't know plays other than looking at them on a damn sheet of paper.
Again, I just don't get why Kevin Warren's public enemy number one when the decision he made actually negatively affects him as well. Yep. Okay? It's not good for anybody. We understand that, but he's trying to protect the players. Now, and if you can't understand that, I don't know how to explain that to you. It's very obvious that this is abundance of caution to make sure his players don't get a bunch of COVID-19 breakouts.
And by the way, just so I can say the last thing but not least, I think Kevin Warren was also trying to protect the Big Ten from what I think is about to be a huge suit by the ACC. Amateurism. The ACC, with North Carolina kicking all their students off of campus and holding their football team on campus, they're not letting their soccer team. There is nobody on campus but the football team and the president who lives there. Now, can I ask you a simple question? If you're an attorney, because I talked to one this morning, talked to actually 2 of them, they both said I'd be suing the bleep out of them because this unequivocally meets the burden of proof that these players are not amateurs and they are not just students. They are unpaid employees, and the only reason the University of North Carolina is pushing forward with football is because of monetary value. You can say whatever the hell you want to say. That's just the truth, and this attorney told me he'd gladly take on the suit with anybody, and I think Kevin Warren was trying to protect the Big Ten and college football from the amateurism issue, which we saw when I was in the 80s with the Olympics. Now, believe it or not, from the Olympics going from amateurs only to they can have pros, how much more money have they made since then? Do you remember the whole Dream Team? How great was that? But the point, what I'm trying to tell you is Kevin Warren will not be judged just by this decision. The ACC, who now I think is opening up to suits from Notre Dame to North Carolina, other schools, if they go all virtual learning and only keep on their football players, again, the lawyer says to me, how can you say that they're amateur athletes? No, what I would argue is they're unpaid employees. Now, if somebody wants to sit there and say, but they get a scholarship. Don't even get me started. Don't get me started. I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail because guess what? We got a real question. We got to talk about, I think, the very first, what is the word I'm looking for? The what if moment or bleep moment. And that happened with the Dallas Mavericks last night. Wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. Hit us up at 67129. If you watched that bad boy last night, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Kristaps Porzingis. This could be really bad. This could be not bad. This could be a nightmare in my personal opinion. I don't know, man. We got to talk about Marcus Morris. We got to talk about Kristaps. We got to talk about Luka. And we got to talk about this playoff game. Plus, we have playoff basketball going on right this minute. We have day baseball going on. SEC players are practicing right now. And I even told you, high school football, Christian Brothers in Houston. I know they're at least playing this Friday. Whatever you do, don't you dare touch that dial. This is Sports 56 Happy Hour with Gabe Cohn and your good buddy Johnny Harden. We'll be right back. Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Search Sports 56 on
Yo, welcome into Little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I am your friend Johnny Radio. That's my good friend Gabe Kuhn at G_Kuhn71. I'm at Johnny_Radio. For some reason, some people don't understand English or don't understand my English. I've never said that I want them to shut down football for everybody. I've never said that I think that it's bad for them to shut down football for some. Again, everything should be right now, I think, a case-by-case situation. But I sure as hell ain't going to put Kevin Warren to a stake to the cross because he talked with 3 of the most prominent virologists in the country, had a meeting with the president, you liar, Sandy at Penn State, and 12-2 agreed this was best for them. Now, I also thought they were also like the Pac-12, and that meant they had to do all virtual learning. The fact that they're on campus and having intramurals and doing all this and not playing football, that confuses the bleep out of me. Like, if you're on campus, you should play football. If you're not on campus and you don't feel like you can have a class, how the hell you feel like you can have a football game? So these are 2 conflicting issues that I have that I struggle with. And again, I don't care who you are or what you think. Lawyers right now are licking their chops about this amateurism issue. Watch Notre Dame. Watch North Carolina. Watch and see what happens with the ACC. Also, watch what happens with the Big Ten. If the fact that they don't send all their students home and then they don't play football, there could be other issues and ramifications. I feel for Justin Fields. I feel for everybody who works their absolute bleep off to play the game that they love, but we are in a global pandemic, and yes, sometimes you have to be protected for yourself. But again, I also know how to read. I understand doctors. And if you're not in a hot spot and you're relatively being safe, I'm all for it. I go to work every day. I mean, I'm out here living. I'm just saying if you're in a hot spot and you got a bunch of dudes who are sick, you can't throw them in football practice because guess what? The whole damn team will be sick after one day.
And then the amount of people getting angry at students in bars in Alabama and Auburn. It's like,
let's take a picture of these guys. They're out being a college student.
Please stop, because that does nothing. Help. You knew they were going to do that. But for those that don't know about North Carolina, they have gone all virtual. They do not have any in-class classes right now, yet their football team is practicing. And also Notre Dame. This is pretty relatively new from Brett McMurphy. Notre Dame's student body only had 58 positive COVID-19 tests between the dates of August 3rd and August 16th. Now, as of yesterday, the 17th, just the 17th, they reported an additional 89 positive tests. So that is more than they had between August 3rd and August 16th in one day.
That's not good, man.
But you knew it was going to happen. I mean, that's the thing. It's like with North Carolina, you have a 30,000 person enrollment. You get 135 tests, and then you shut it down. Did you not expect to get 135 positive tests?
No, I expected it. Also,
I expected more. In all honesty.
I was going to say, but they were doing the outdoor classing. They did try to do certain things, but I hate to say it, man. Like at Fitzgerald Casino, they're a hell of a lot better than these colleges. Did you see some of the rooms? Like you go into the Fitz, they got a the glass window between every damn even seat at the poker table or the roulette table or the craps table. If you're playing sports, sports betting is like 6 feet apart. They got more alcohol wipes and masks. You can't take your mask off. All this stuff. So what I'm saying is if you're taking it serious, people, you can still live in a pandemic and you can take care of yourself and be serious. The problem is a lot of young people feel impervious to anything. They're fearless. They don't care about anything except for doing what they want when they want to do it. You don't remember in your early 20s when you basically had no brain and were led by another brain? I mean, come on, let's be real. I know when I was 20, I was as dumb. I might have been dumber at 20 than I was at 2, which is truthfully and sad to say. But you do grow up and you learn a little bit. But now it's time to talk about some basketball. And we got real deal Holyfield basketball going down. And I think, in my personal opinion, last night's biggest thing in all of what's going on right now happened last night, and it all happened to do with Kristaps Porzingis. I think it's our first what if moment. Do you know what I mean when I say that? Like, what if he did not? Like, what could this have been? I mean, the Clippers won 118-110. You know that. But Luka dropped 42, had 9 assists in his first NBA playoff game ever. Now, he did cough up 11 turnovers.
I would say he was turning the ball over.
He turned it over, but he still had, he had 42, damn it. He had 42, and by the way, he was 1 assist away from double-double. Make one of those shots, dude. No, but the big problem is Dallas and Los Angeles, who went back and forth. They, by the way, exchanged double-digit leads. I mean, the Mavericks came out like this, and then next thing you know, the Clippers come back hard as can be, and it was a wild game. But I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think about Porzingis, the fact that he's now got this? If you didn't know, he got a second technical. Do you know what that means? My homie ain't playing. This is some dangerous stuff, and I think this is going to be the first what-if moment, because what if Dallas, who just had their rookie Luka go off for 42, he had 9 assists, but he does know he coughed it up 11 times. He knows that he has to protect the ball better. Luka knows that he has to depend a little bit more on his teammates, make better passes, play better defense. He knows all this stuff. So after the first game, I was feeling like, man, he's learning a lot. Dude's a baller shot caller. I love him. I still don't know how you had a 13-point third quarter. I really don't, because if you didn't have that one, who knows what happened in this game. But I don't know. I look at this. Well, you know what I also have to say is Tim Hardaway Jr. also is another person. I wish if Dallas could just get rid of him and put anybody else in there, wouldn't you feel better about Dallas' chances too?
He's on and off. Let's not indict him off last night. He was not great last night.
Dude, he was not good at all.
But he's usually not horrible. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I guess I watch Kristaps. I mean, I watch Luka way more than anybody else. So I just thought Tim Hardaway Jr. He ain't his daddy. I can tell you that. Did you ever see his daddy play?
Yeah, of course.
Ooh,
of course.
Dude was sick. Probably the best crossover ever in the NBA still. Well, there's a couple of other good ones. Anyway, point is, though, Tim Hardaway was a bad mamma jamma back in the day, but his son, he's messing things up. But I'm going to just look back at this. I'm going to ask you, Kawhi Leonard, he hit some things. Montrezl Harrell did some things. Paul George, they did some things. But with Luka and Kristaps, did you not feel like they didn't have an answer when they were going? Do you know what I mean by that? Like, there's certain things where, again, when Joel Embiid was doing his thing, Boston's Brad comes out there, double teams him immediately. Every time he touches the ball, he starts turning it over. They make him live almost. They push him out from the center. They basically changed everything, and they completely messed him up. But then Porzingis getting that second technical, it was Doncic and Morris, was it not? And just all of a sudden.
And here's what I don't like, though, is like, I'm not a big fan of Marcus Morris.
I'm not either.
I think Marcus Morris, like, this is literally like he takes it upon himself to go and do things like this, get in Luka's face for no real reason.
He protected the best player. Here, can I ask you a question?
And also, you don't just throw out a technical because of a little scrum. Nothing really happened.
By the way, he had to leave the game. What if he doesn't have to leave the game? Are we sure that Dallas doesn't win that bad boy and change the whole outlook on this?
They're better with Kristaps than they are without.
I know, that's what I'm saying, and I don't know. I thought it was BS, because here's what I want to say is, Gabe Kuhn, Kristaps Porzingis even knows he's not the best player on this team. He knows it's the young kid Luka. You know what he did? He ran to protect their star. Isn't that kind of what everybody does? He didn't come off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Did he throw a punch? Did you see a punch?
No.
Did you see anything that warranted a technical?
Honestly? It was garbage. It was garbage, plain up.
So, can I ask you something? In your personal opinion, is this the first what-if moment, and did Doc Rivers dodge a bullet? Did the Clippers dodge a bullet? And is this kind of the reason, like, people can't stand baseball because of the unwritten rules? Fernando Tatis hits a home run and has to apologize after the game. People can't stand that. People also can't stand when referees take the game out of a team's hand. when you have one hell of a ball game, and then you have an idiot who then blows a whistle, or you have a New Orleans guy who doesn't throw a flag when that was obvious pass interference. Like, yes, I know there's human error, but when it's just straight up stupidity and it's not a missed call, but it's you walking over there and you just being an arrogant you-know-what, and then you eject this guy, I'm sorry. I thought it was egregious. I don't even know if I don't even know if you go by the letter of the law, it's worth a technical.
Handle the instigator is my problem.
Thank you. Oh, but
deal
but
with the instigator, man.
Remember, he double technical.
No, that's what makes me mad. You call it double technical, even though Chris
and that was
what did he give him, like a half little shove? Get off of my guy.
Get
out of his face.
Superstar.
Get out of his face. The whole thing was instigated by
why
one man, and that's Marcus Morris.
Yes, that is true. No. Do you understand what I mean, though, by the NBA is soft? And it wasn't Mark, but anyway, was it Marcus or Markieff? I can't ever.
Marcus. Markieff plays for the Lakers.
That's right, yeah. Lakers are tonight, baby. But, man, one of the Morris twins doing his thing. And, yes, he goes out there and he is the instigator, and his team
As he often is, by the way.
But his team was rewarded by Kristaps being gone.
I don't even think realistically he should have really gotten a technical. This is just something move your certain ways.
Come on, let's go play
and let's keep playing basketball.
Yeah, there's in my opinion personally, like the dude said,
no one really lost their temper. It was just get off of my star player. Get out of his face. And I'll tell you, I'll tell you right now.
Mistake of the night.
And this, I really feel this because as an O lineman, I know for a fact. If someone gives my running back or gives my quarterback a little extra, I'm there ready to fight.
Yes.
And that's how it works.
By the way, hockey, they can fight. Baseball, they can
But this wasn't a fight.
No.
That's the thing that gets me.
That's why people say the NBA today, that's why old heads, and you know what drives you crazy? They talk about the NBA is, what is it? It's softer than shaman. Oh, the NBA is weaker than weak sauce. The NBA is about as, dude, I mean, it's hilarious, dude. Actually, I will tell you one thing. I've been watching some WNBA, too, by the way, lately. They're more physical than the damn NBA games. These girls don't play no games. I don't see the referees blowing all the whistles. Man, I was watching Deladon dropping base in an elbow, going up there and putting some stuff. I like Elena Deladon. She don't play no games, baby. But the NBA has become so soft that they're ruining a unbelievable, I'm talking about one of the best products on planet Earth. And you're ruining it. You got superstars. Everything's going good. And I'm going to remind y'all of this real quick. Do you know when he got thrown out? Do you remember? It was 102 to 109. And then all of a sudden, 104, 109. My man gets thrown out for some BS. And if Kristaps is in that game, a 5-point ball game, I have no idea which way it goes. It ends 118 to 110. There was so much basketball left to play, but when you got Tim Hardaway taking 32-foot jumpers, there ain't no way you're going to win because that would have been Kristaps shooting those junkers, or Luka, fighting for that rebound. Kristaps would have been fighting for that rebound, and Luka would have been running down the court and getting a big outlet passes. Like, there was certain plays in that thing where I was watching and thinking to myself, man, they just, like, if I was a Dallas fan right now, and I was, I didn't care. I had the Clippers, so I was like, but I was sitting there going, this is the worst BS. Like, I felt
and the problem is, it's like the referee didn't take any, didn't think about how a technical right there would affect the game in any way, shape, or form. He just went ahead. He just slapped it that quick without really thinking about it, and honestly ruined the game in all seriousness. Made the game less fun, made the entertainment value go down. I'm not a fan of it. And it was for something so small.
On. You know what?
It wasn't even a real altercation.
There was on Twitter. I'm going to my Twitter. There's a couple of things I liked last night. Okay, here it is. I'm reading the NBA rule book. This is from Tim Cato. I'm reading the NBA rule book and enjoying this sentence. Assess a technical foul shall be avoided when possible. Assessment of a technical foul shall be avoided whenever and wherever possible. That's in the thing, okay? So They're basically saying you only use, even in the letter of the law, I even mentioned that up. Thank you for sending this, Tim. And he's saying, yo, 2 technicals is worth a discussion, discussion because how Kristaps got 2 technicals in that game, nobody knows. Like, literally, they don't even understand. It doesn't make sense. Then you have people, LeBron James came out and even was tweeting, which I actually thought that was
LeBron, Dirk, more,
Patrick Mahomes.
I say the amount
trash, man,
of
NBA
people that took to Twitter as far as athletes
Dinwiddie,
goes.
Kevin Love. You can't. I mean, I love Kevin Love. You can't even protect your star player anymore. No, that's exactly right. LeBron James, basically calling that BS. Dirk, that ejection is super soft. Kevin Love, you can't eject him. For what? Protecting the Mavs' best player? That's just bad. No ejection in the playoffs, man. You have Patrick Mahomes again calling him trash. Doc Rivers even tweeted out about it, which is very interesting. He's like, yeah, I'm glad about the outcome, but I didn't like Porzingis being out. Even the coach for the Clippers is like, I did not like Kristaps being taken out of the game at that moment. Again, LeBron James, he just trips me out. He's like, basically like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There's so many people that all you have to do is go and look this up on Twitter. It's everywhere. I think it's the first what if moment. The second what if moment could be happening right now. And I'm going to tell you on the other side. But first, remember, MemphisFarmers.com, Chad Gatlin. He's a baller shot caller, auto, home, life, business, whatever you need. When you need insurance, all you think is Memphis. You live in Memphis, baby, or the Mid-South, and you love farmers. We are farmers. Dun, 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 dun. So do me a favor. Go to MemphisFarmers.com. I promise you'll see Daniel Gatlin when you get there, but his name is Chad because that's what his friends call him. So when you go to MemphisFarmers.com, you can get a quote, do whatever you want. But when you call him, just call him Chad. He'll know you got it from me. 901-235-1176. That's 901-235-1176. Call my friend Chad Gatlin or check him out on MemphisFarmers.com. This is Sports 56, 96.1, and another What If moment could be coming up now on 87.7 FM.
It's R&R on sports.
The word is out about R&R on sports, where you've heard
I will say one thing. Welcome back into Sports 56 Happy Hour with your good buddy Johnny Radio. My buddy Gabe Kuhn, he's right next to me. But don't forget at 2 o'clock, Russell Copeland, he's going to join us, and we're going to rock and fire about some NFL, some NCAA football, and also I will ask him actually what's going on. Who's his pick for the Larry O'Brien Trophy? One other thing, though, I do have to say, for the Morris twins, Marcus Morris, man, like, will this get him in the WWE now since he's playing the villain role? Because doesn't it look like, remember when Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone were bad, they went WWE? What other, athletes go? Wouldn't Joey Porter and for the Steelers in the WWE? I'm telling you, dude, right now Marcus Morris needs to call up Vince McMahon and say, I'm the villain. I just got out Kristaps Porzingis, and he needs to go WWE and become a superstar.
Is he famous enough? You just said Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman. Those are famous basketball players.
That is very true.
Very famous.
That is very true.
Marcus Morris ain't on that level, but he does play the villain.
He does play the villain.
And I really don't like him. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
I can't stand him, but he's also big as can be.
He's a good player. I can't deny that.
He ain't like his brother now.
But he's a ridiculous instigator. It bothers me.
Which one do you think has a better chance of getting a ring, his brother or Marcus? Marquise.
Great question.
Both play, by the way, for Los Angeles. If you're colorblind, though, it's Payne and the Keister.
You just read the name on the front.
Dude, I can't.
It either says Lakers or Clippers. I think you could figure that out.
I just look for LeBron and AD and Kawhi and Paul George, okay? And then I also look for which one's dark and which one's light. That's why they have dark uniforms and white uniforms. I can see white, yo. That's how I know things. Don't mess with me, man. I got this. But no, I do have to tell you, I think he's a super villain, but I also have to say, I think for Fernando Tatis, as we've talked about this, his coach making him apologize, telling him to apologize, has made me a little bit agitated. Not a little bit agitated, but bro, if I hit a grand slam, and if I had 28 RBIs, and I'm leading the league in home runs, and you have to come and talk to me about some unwritten rule, I'm going to tell you, bro, do you want me to bat 203? Do you want me to have just 2 home runs? What do you want, man? Do you want me to ball, or do you want me to just do it when you tell me I can do it? It don't work like that, homie. When you're balling and you're on fire, stay on fire and go with it. Baseball is a game of streaks, yo.
The one thing I think we missed when we had this conversation earlier in the leadoff, it adds to the entertainment value.
Sure does.
Like, let him be him. Honestly, you should try to sell that type of play. You should try to sell a guy that hits grand slams instead of trying to put him down for breaking some stupid unwritten rule that was, again, it's unwritten, and it was talked about in the early or the late 1800s. Let's move past it. I'm done with it. Like, I'm sick of it.
What's his name? Tingler?
Jace Tingler, yes.
You know what I think? Never mind. Tingler. I'll tell you one thing. I'll give you a tingle upside your head, son. Fernando, grab that bat and tell Jace what's up, bro. Give him a little tingle on his backside, if you know what I mean. Pacow! Man, I still can't believe that. But you know what else I can't believe? We are having another what-if moment. At halftime, the Bucks are trailing the Magic 52-62. The Bucks are down by 10 points. This is not a joke. Now, can the Bucks win? I don't know. We got a whole second half. But right now, the Magic being up 10 has people who laid, 11.5, 12 at tip? I bet they are freaking the bleep out. You know that basketball is a game of runs. Will the Greek Freak go crazy? He had 17 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Problem is, guess what? He ain't getting jack from nobody else. Seriously. And I'm sorry, when you get 16 points from Vucevic, you got Clark out there dropping 12. Man, Markelle Fultz is actually playing pretty good, by the way. He has 11, too. What's going on with Markelle? Is he going to actually turn out to be a decent ball player? Wow. But I do have to say, Giannis has a team of nobody else. Somebody needs to step up. Hey, Chris Middleton, hit a shot or actually take one. You've only taken 7 shots. You've made 2, but you've only shot 2 threes. Give the Greek Freak a little help. Bledsoe, what are you doing, homie? We'll see it. I think the Bucks come back and win this, but it could be our second what-if moment. Our first was the idiot who called a double tech on Kristaps Porzingis and, of course, Marcus Morris. We'll be back in just a minute with my good friend Russell Copeland. We're going to talk everything and a lot of stuff in between. But remember, MemphisFarmers.com and Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
The Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
If you like pina colada.
On AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now,
The only man to give death a near Johnny experience. Johnny Harden.
What's up? What's up? Welcome back into Little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I have to tell y'all, you know me, Johnny Radio. You know Gabe Kuhn at G_Kuhn71. You know us, Sports 56 WHBQ. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Instagram, plus the 2FM channels and the original AM Gangster. But now, Russell Copeland's coming up with me. I told you this morning I got up and saw this horrible thing about North Korean dogs, and I cried ever since. Dude, did you know what I just was doing, Gabe? Have you? I doubt you know the Romanian pop singer. I have no idea how to say his name. Tuve Pusti. It's P-U-S-T-I-U. Isn't that right? Tuve Pusti. So this is the worst thing I've ever said, but I'm going to tell you about it in Hardingwood. But Tuve Pusti, who is 29 years old, was with his wife listening to loud music, and holy cow, I watched the video. How is this thing still up? We'll talk about it in Hardwood. Plus, you know what else we're going to talk about in Hardwood? I didn't get to bring up my UFO stories. Have you all ever heard about what happened in a city in Brazil when it got attacked by UFOs? Oh, well, you're going to hear about it during Hardwood. And don't you have something good too? What were you talking about?
Yeah, an unfortunate tweet by a play-by-play announcer. We'll get to that. It's pretty ridiculous.
By the way, John, how would you say his name?
Focky.
Okay, Focky. I was going to say that one totally wrong. I was going to say the F-U-E. And I was like, I wanted to let you say that one first.
F-O-C-K-E is how you spell it.
Focky. That sounds like, was it Meet the Fockers?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, that was a great movie. Ben Stiller and everything. But you know how fast you could mess that one up if you weren't paying attention?
No question. He messed up bad, though. We'll talk about that in Hardwood.
He messes up so bad. We got so many good things that are coming up. I'm telling you, whatever you do, you got to keep it locked and loaded right here to Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM. I do want to remind you, 901-406-1101, any house, any area, as simple as that. Literally, all you have to do is make that call. My friend called in last week, Mr. Warren. He said, bro, he called the number. Hour later, Bill was at his house. 5 days later, checks in his hand. Bing, bang, boom, house is sold. It literally is that simple. If you are renting houses and you're not collecting rent and you're tired of it, 901-406-1101. If you can't pay your mortgage, 901-406-1101. Don't go, bankrupt, deadgummit. But what I'm saying is if you need to sell your house, and if it's been on the market for 3 months, why? Just call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. You call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Bing, a bang, a boom. I just sold your house. Now it's time to talk to my good friend, Russell Copeland. And I got to tell you something, man. Me and Russell got a lot of stuff to get into today. We've been talking on air, off air, through tweets and everything. And we got a lot to get in. One thing, though, I want to say first and foremost, Russell, how are you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm doing well, man. How you doing, Johnny?
Man, actually, I'm doing pretty good. Have you been watching any of this NBA basketball today?
Yes, I've been watching just a little bit. I've been doing some yard work, believe it or not, but I've been watching a little bit. So I'm looking forward to my team, the Lakers, and see what they're doing later on tonight. So it's really good to be able to see some basketball, and now it's in the finals. So I'm excited, so I can sit down and just watch several games a little bit tonight.
Oh, yeah, tonight's going to be fun. Dame time. You're going to have LeBron. You're going to have all that good stuff going down, and it's going down for real. But speaking of stuff that's going down for real, me and you have talked about a lot of stuff. Now, first I want to mention something, and I want to go to the National Football League because I want to kind of talk about something positive. And I wanted to ask you, Alex Smith, this dude's in camp with Washington right now. He survived. I mean, we say survived, and the reason I say that is losing your leg as an athlete would probably be very difficult, like emotionally, mentally. And if anybody watched that show, the man, by the way, had 17 surgeries. The fact that he has come back, I think he's already a winner. Honestly, just the fact that he's come back, the doctors that saved his leg, they're all winners. ESPN, they did a huge profile on him, and it really shines some light on the hardships and what it is for him to come back. This game obviously means a ton to him. It means so much that he literally risked everything to come back, and you saw what he did to get back on the field. Is he got a chance to actually still play in the league, or is he going to be Dwayne Haskins' backup? Will he be content being a backup as hard as he worked to come back?
I just think first and foremost it's awesome, and I think you have to give the praise and the glory to the Lord Almighty. But
absolutely,
when you're in a situation where Alex Smith was, not only was his leg in jeopardy of being amputated, but his life was in jeopardy. So the things that he's been able to overcome, and to be able to get himself back healthy, just to be able to walk around again, and to see his kids and be with his wife and his loved ones. Now to get yourself back into shape, see how your leg is, see how your body is, go through the workouts, go through the mental aspect of it, and now to be in the position where you are now, I'll just say this. I'm in his corner, and I think if he's battled this far, I think he does have a legitimate chance to be able to be the starter. But to be in the position where he is now is phenomenal, and it's just, it's an admiration to see what he is, and hopefully he does push for that job. And if he does not start, if he's on the team and makes the team, I just think that it's really phenomenal. It's outstanding.
Now, I wanted to bring that up because that's the one real super positive that you have that's just glaring positive. Then there was another positive. But then I want to ask you, and I want to be real because this is why I bring you on, because I like keeping things real. We don't mean you don't ever cut BS. We're not over here to hurt people's feelings. We're just really out here to hopefully educate people, give them information, and tell people how they really feel. And I am proud of Alex Smith. I think what he's done is awesome. I'm rooting for him. It's going to be interesting quarterback room with him and Dwayne Haskins. But I want to ask you this. Washington's football team is in the news, of course, again. This is something that they actually did that was a great thing. And it's shocking to me that in 2020, the very first, I didn't know, the first ever black team president, which was hired by Washington, shockingly, at least in my opinion, and he was the first one ever, Jason Wright. Congratulations, by the way, to Jason Wright. The man definitely deserves it. Played years running back. He's worked his tail off, all kinds of stuff. But I hate to ask this question. But again, I told you I'm going to be real. Is this Daniel Snyder? Is he pulling almost like a James Dolan to try to CYA himself? Or is he actually doing this because he believes in Mr. Wright? And, I mean, he should. But, I mean, is he doing this more to try to get positive news right now? Or is he doing this because he realistically feels that it's time? It's far past time, but is he trying to still CYA you-know-what?
Well, I think first and foremost, Jason Wright, as you alluded to, I think he is the person for the job. Mm-hmm. I think he's the right individual for the job. But when you look at what when you look at what the owner is doing, Dan Snyder is doing, I think it's a little bit of splitting hairs here, because I think this is a positive move. I think it's a positive move that not only needs to be done by the Washington Redskins, but it needs to be done throughout the National Football League as far as hiring African-American individuals that are qualified.
In the front office, man. Come on, how can you, like literally, that just doesn't even make any sense. This is the fact that this is the first, I almost fell over. I honestly... I knew it was bad, but I didn't realize that it was that bad.
but still, with it being the first, it's still a step in the right direction. But to answer your question, I think when you look at Dan Snyder, what he's been able to do in the off season has been really positive. I think first and foremost, when you get rid of the Redskins name, I think it's something that has been, needed before, and he makes that step to get rid of the Redskins name. And I think now, when you look at the allegations of 15 women that's where I wish he would have, this is where I have an issue, and you brought it up. Like, it almost feels like I need to cover this. I have 15 women with these allegations. We have all these, non-disclosure agreements that we signed. Change the name of the team. Hire somebody. We need positive news. And that, to me, it just, again, Jason Wright, he's definitely the right guy for the job. If you watch his interview, he's looking forward to, basically all the challenges. He had all the right answers. He is as smooth as the other side of the pillow. But again, Daniel Snyder is just, if he feels so snaky that I almost hate even giving him credit for this. Do you know what I'm saying? Well, John, this is how I'm going to be able to look at it. I think that he's been making moves in the right direction before you look at the hire.
Okay.
Because what I'm going to say, number one, you hired Ron Rivera. This is the first Latina head coach for the Redskins.
Didn't think about that.
You hired him because, you're in a dire crisis. You have a long losing streak. You haven't been winning. And yes, there are allegations of sexual assault, but the overall perspective, it's just not a good organization. It's a toxic atmosphere. So what do? You hire Ron Rivera. He is a player's coach, but he is a all business coach that is the right man to be able to get this organization taken care of. And yes, you have had the allegations of the sexual assault, but he goes out and he has hired, he hired a female, a woman, Julie Davidson, who's going to lead the communications division, which is going to be the highest female executive.
Whoa.
For the Washington Redskins.
I didn't know that one either.
You know what I'm saying? She's going to be the first woman to be part of an NFL team's radio broadcast.
Wow.
So those are steps that's in the right directions. And now you look at that he's hired Jason Wright, and before hiring Jason Wright, he got rid of the Redskins name. So I think he's been doing some things in the right direction. So I can't just sit up here and say, well, he's doing this because, I need to do. I think he's been honestly looking back as an owner. He's very intelligent as far as business to make money.
He definitely has to be. He's a billionaire.
But I think he looks back, and in order to make organizations and businesses and everything be able to go, you have to be able to look at your mistakes, and you have to be able to look, and you have to listen to the people that work under you and what's going on around you. So I think he has been able to do that, and he's made some of these steps. So let's hopefully see how these steps be able to make and bring something positive to the Washington Redskins. And I think, congratulations to Jason Wright, and also congratulations to Julie Davidson. I think those were big moves, and I think it was moves that need to be done before now.
Man, well, congratulations to Julie Davidson. By the way, I didn't even think about Ron Rivera being the first, what is it, Hispanic coach in Washington history. The fact that Jason Wright's got a job, you might be right, changing the name. He might have been doing this, and you know what? He might have been listening, because this Daniel Snyder 5 years ago was adamant, I've never changed the name. He hired a coach who was hitting on women and smoking joints, and Jay Gruden, we got video pictures of that, and he didn't even get in trouble for those kind of things. Again, he didn't fire so many people who had all those NDAs, had a bunch of women sign non-disclosure agreements. Maybe he started looking around and says, the reason we aren't winning is because I am running basically a damn frat house. And also, I kind of think, and I always wonder this, because I know Fred, and FedEx has a lot to do with the Redskins, a lot. I'm wondering, do you think Fred got in his ear? And I'm talking about Fred Smith.
I think definitely Fred Smith had something to say. I don't think he was pleased about how the culture has been for the Washington Redskins.
No, he was not. I know that.
And as you mentioned, you said, hey, man, it's like a frat house. And I think when you look at the National Football League and you look at just everything that's been going on with today, I just think if you want to be able to win and you want to be able to put a great product out, the way the Washington Redskins has been doing for the past several years has reflected on how they've been winning football games. And I think you have to be able to look at it as the owner. If you want to continue to be the owner and you want to put a product out that not only is good for the National Football League, but you want it to be fair and good for your fans to be able to come and sit down and say, hey, this is an organization that I think is fair. I think it's a legit organization. I think it's an organization that I can be proud of if I'm going to be a Washington Redskins follower or a fan of the Washington Redskins.
And, I do have to say, I always, you think of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Rooneys. You think of, the New England Patriots and Robert Kraft and what he's been able to do, and Bill Belichick. You think about these great organizations. They are top down, and that is, I think, very crucial. Yes, the players play, but you have to be a professional organization. And a lot of people say, hey, it's not as fun to play in New England, but damn it, they get Super Bowls. Being a professional, it is not, like you said, it's not being in a frat house. And I think that a couple of these billionaires, bought their teams not knowing anything about football, and they kind of just wanted to be part of the Billionaires Boys Club and hang out with these superstar athletes. And that's why they didn't win, and it took so long. And again, that's why you have organizations that are, awesome, and then that's why you have the Lions and the Bengals.
And also, John, I just think most importantly, when you look at the culture and you look at where the National Football League has been headed, when you look at off-the-field issues, the National Football League are not putting up with off-the-field type of issues. So if you're going to be able to clean up the National Football League, then that means you have to be able to clean it up from the top to the bottom. And that starts with the owners, that starts with the players, and that starts with anyone else that's going to be involved in the National Football League. So I think you also have to give credit to the NFL for being able to clean it up everything. And I think Dan Snyder as an owner is looking at that and say, hey, man, I have to be part of the solution or I'm part of the problem. So if we're going to clean up the National Football League and we're going to hold our players accountable, then guess what? I have to have an organization that's going to be held accountable as well.
Now, I do have to say one thing, and I hate to interrupt you for 2 seconds, but I just had somebody text me, and they're like, how do you know Jason Wright is the right guy for the job? Well, he did spend 7 years in the National Football League. Played for 4 teams, so he knows that. He also got his MBA from Northwestern, people. Northwestern, most people that go to Northwestern or Vanderbilt or an Ivy League school, they become your boss. He's a very intelligent person, and he was also, if you did not know, responsible for all the organizational business divisions over the last year, and that including the operations, finance, sales, and marketing team. He was the president. So it ain't like this man hadn't been working in the NFL for a long damn time. So that's how I know he's the right guy for the situation. And this is not just Daniel Snyder doing something to get his name out of the sorry to interrupt you. I just had to answer that question to somebody who was, you always have somebody being smart.
Right. And John, also to answer that question, you have 50-50. Well, why isn't he the wrong person? Why isn't he the right person? And I think when you look at things overall, I think when you hire someone to be the University of Memphis coach, we say, hey, I think this young man, this gentleman, this man or woman is the individual when I look at everything that's on the resume. When you look at Anthony Penny Hardaway, you said, hey, this is the man for the job, but he had never been a head coach at college. You have to be able to start somewhere.
Yes, you
do. So when you start, and I'm going to be the owner, I'm going to be the president, I'm going to say, hey, you're the right person for this job. I believe in that. Yes, you have to be able to go and do the work, and hopefully it works out. But the owner says he's the right person for the job, so I'm going to say he's the right person for the job, and I'm going to stand on it.
I agree with you, and I couldn't say it any better. That's my man, Russell Copeland. By the way, if you don't know Russell Copeland, what are you talking about? He played here at Memphis. Him and Isaac Bruce, they were getting loose on the outside, played with the Bills, played the National Football League for many years, and he joins me pretty much every week. And Wolo and Stats, you join everybody and their grandmother. Now, I wanted to ask you because, again, you're a father. You're a former pro athlete, a former college football player. You understand all the stuff that's going around. When you look at what's going on, and again, as a father, and you look at the abuse that the Big Ten commissioner Kevin Warren is taking, it's pretty sad. But also, I understand. Like Justin Fields now has 268,000 signatures on his petition. We want to play. I feel for Justin Fields. I also saw where there's a bunch of parents who have gotten together, and there's a parents organization, and they want to make it hard on the Big Ten to not play football. This is the one thing that I wanted to ask you, and I want, truthfully, you to think about, because I understand the Pac-12 shutting down because they're not having students on campus. They're doing virtual classes, and I'm like, if you can't have school and there's student athletes, then how can you have football? That makes sense. When the Big Ten came out and said they weren't going to have football, I also thought that the Big Ten was going to go to virtual classes. The fact that they have intramurals, people are meeting on class, this to me is where it doesn't make sense. If you're going to have class, have football. But then on the contrary, if you look at the ACC, North Carolina, they're going to all virtual learning. They're not going to – the only people on that campus is the president of the university and the kids. Doesn't that, and this is where I wanted to ask you, I see what the Big Ten is, and everybody's trying to blame Kevin Warren about football, whatever. If you can have school, I think you should still be able to have football. But, man, is maybe Kevin Warren being smarter than most? Because if they have to send these kids home, will that not open up the door for any lawyer with any brains at all to go out there and say, wait a second, I thought they were student athletes. If you send all the students home, but you have football, they're basically they're employees who are not getting paid because you're not doing this for the betterment of their education or the student. You're doing this for a money. It's a money making venture. So could that open up the issue for a lawyer to come in there and deregulate the NCAA and amateurism, like what we saw happen in the Olympics in the 80s? This whole situation with the pandemic, I think, has opened up a whole I don't even think people realize how many you got now unions, young kids who are realizing their power on social media from Chuba Hubbard. Don't you feel like things have really, really changed? And will the NCAA survive? And will college football ever look the same after this year?
I think it's been in the direction to change as far as the young players being able to know their voice and be able to know their empowerment. I think as far as the amateurism rule, as far as college athletes being paid, I don't think they should be paid as far as a salary, but I think they should be able to make money from their name, their likeness, and their image. And I think that's been going in the right direction because you look at
California,
the California governor,
Florida, Gavin
Newsom.
Yeah.
So it's already going in that direction as far as that. But to answer your question, as far as what the Big Ten was able to do, I think the decision was made to be able to look and protect the safety of the kids. And you mentioned the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Well, first of all, they were going to class.
Yeah, and they sent them home once they all had a big old pandemic breakout, baby.
But yes, so you have over 130 kids that now are infected with COVID at the University of North Carolina, and that has been my issue all along. I think when you look at it, when you look at baseball, when you look at basketball now has just had their players in a bubble,
and it's pros too.
Right. Baseball did not have their players in a bubble, but you look at what happened with the Florida Marlins. That's something different of how good the Florida Marlins is, but I'm just saying. Now when you look at college campuses, you have a social life.
Yes.
These athletes have to be able to be in a bubble, and how can you get the college players to be in a bubble? You haven't done that yet. So if you haven't done that yet, what you saw at North Carolina can and will happen at other universities once your athletes be able to interact with other students on campus. And the last thing I'm going to say, you look at locally, high school. You look at Hardin Academy here locally. Well, 9th through 12th now have to go to virtual learning because several athletic teams that are in the fall have COVID-19, and it has spread throughout the school. This is locally here in Memphis.
This is right here in Memphis.
So this is what I'm going to say as a parent. I love sports. You all know that.
Yep.
Man, I love to turn on the television and look at so many sports and go to games and go to high school games. But my daughter is active in softball and she's active in soccer. I took her out because I'm not going to be on the other end, on the other side, when my daughter gets sick from COVID because I'm a parent that says, I just love sports. She's going to go out. Safety is going to come first, and I think that's what the Big Ten is doing. And I think when you look at it, players want to play. My daughter wanted to play. But how will we look once everything gets started and we start having breakouts all over other universities like we have seen breakouts in cities after Memorial Day, after the 4th of July?
Yep.
When you look at the hot spots in California, Texas, and all these other states, it's a possibility that could happen on campus. And how would you feel as a parent when your child gets sick, even though they're young?
Devastated.
If it doesn't turn out so well for a young athlete or a young kid or any kid that's going to college because we did not do the right thing. So I'm going to always lean towards the safety.
Man, follow him at rcopeland03, and always remember, it's been 25 years, by the way. I didn't want to age you, I'm sorry. Didn't want to date you, but it has been 25 years since you last caught a pass in a Tiger uniform, but yet you still rank 7th. Think about it. We throw the ball so much more. He has 1,753 yards receiving, ranked 7th at the University of Memphis, even though it's been 25 years since you stepped on that field. You are a baller shot caller. He's my good friend, Russell Copeland. I appreciate your time, and we'll definitely do it again, my friend.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Be safe out there, everybody. Now, we're going to come back in just a second. We got Hardenwood. We got UFOs. We got a dude who lost his job because, oh my goodness, I can't believe he tweeted it out. I can't even say his last name because it's dangerous. It's kind of like Meet the Fockers. What is it? What's his last name?
Focky.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That's why I asked Gabe. Now, we'll be back in 2 shakes with a lot of fun because Hardenwood is coming up next. So whatever you do, don't look at the dial. Don't even think about touching it. And never forget, MemphisFarmers.com on Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
Hi, folks. Jeff Jackson, General Manager at Sunrise Chevrolet Buick GMC. Yes, it's hot outside.
Welcome back into a little Sports 56 happy hour. I am your good friend Johnny Radio. Thank you to my good friend Russell Copeland for joining us in the last segment. I meant to ask him, but I already know the answer. Who's going to win this whole bad boy? He's a Lakers fan. He says LeBron and Anthony Davis are going to get it done. We're going to find out tonight because guess what? They start their series against a red-hot Portland Trailblazers team that's got Dame Time, who's admittedly become, if you didn't realize, he's a real deal Holyfield superstar. Now, I told you the first what-if moment of the National Basketball Association happened last night with an idiot double tech of Kristaps Porzingis. What would have happened in that Mavs-Clippers game? Who knows? We're having just another holy cow what-if moment right now because are you paying attention? The Magic we're going to the fourth quarter. They're still trailing by 13 points. Orlando is up by 13 points. I'm sorry. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Greek Freak, the number one seed, the best record in the NBA, the MVP, is losing to the Magic. And this ain't Shaq and Penny's Magic team either. Like, Nick Anderson ain't shooting on this team, yo. Like, what is going on? I'm not playing with you. Magic 92, Bucks 79. We will keep an eye on this because this one is getting crazy. Don't forget, 3 o'clock, you got the Heat Pacers. Miami's a 4-point favorite over Indiana. You have the Thunder and the Rockets. That bad boy, I don't know if you know this, but right now is a pick'em, baby. And then don't forget the Trailblazers and the Lakers. Lakers right now currently sit at -6.5. Now, you know we're about to get to my favorite segment in the whole wide world. We got UFOs. We got Meet the Fockers. We got crazy stuff to talk about. But I got to remind you of one thing. Brian Elder Roofing Solution. If you have something bad in your life, man, if a storm came through, knocked a few shingles off, don't freak out. This is your home or your business, and it is important. And I can understand that this could be a very, very, very scary time, but it's not. As long as you call Chris Price and Brian Elder. Call 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303 for my friends at Brian Elder Roofing. Now listen, you can go to brianelderroofing.com, check out everything you need to know. But I'm telling you right now, they got a warranty, they got the services, they got everything you need, and they're actually practicing social distancing standards. Again, they'll measure your roof from outer space. They don't even have to come out there. But when they come out there to do their work, nobody does better work than Brian Elder Roofing. Go to brianelderroofing.com or check them out at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing Solutions. Let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Hey, by the way, Nikola Vucevic is absolutely cooking through
Vucevic
3 quarters.
Was killing it in the first.
30 points, 11 rebounds on 13 for 20. He's 4 for 7 from 3.
Dude, he's got 2 more points than Giannis.
Yeah. He is killing it today.
Wowzers.
Should we start on this ridiculous story?
Dude, we got to start with John.
All right, John Fockey. He is the play-by-play announcer for the Hornets, right? Mm-hmm. Interestingly enough, he tweets about the NBA. And this happens, every once in a while. Yesterday during the day, he was talking about performances in the Jazz Nuggets game. So he types out Jazz-Nuggets, right?
Nope.
But it didn't come out as Nuggets.
No, it came out as
the N-word.
Yeah, not the good. There's no good word, actually.
So
but yeah,
then he took to Twitter afterward. He deleted it, of course, like a smart person would. And says, earlier today I made a horrific error while attempting to tweet about the Denver-Utah game. I don't know how I mistyped. I had and have no intention of ever using that word. I take full responsibility for my actions. I have been sick to my stomach about it ever since. I am truly sorry that this happened, and I apologize to those I offended. Now, while I'll take your little apology as a fact that you did not mean to do it on purpose, the question becomes, how the hell did it autocorrect to that word when you were trying to type Nuggets? You're an NBA announcer, okay? The only way it would autocorrect
is if you use it a lot.
Is if you use it way too much.
Yeah, like I say bro, or like what is something I say all the time when I text? like thanks or peace or pimp out or what. I don't know. What do I say? Yo, what do I say?
I think for most normal people, if you tried to type out the word that he typed out, it would autocorrect 2 nuggets.
Yes, it would autocorrect 2 nuggets. I'm trying to think about it.
So, like, I'm trying to, like, understand this.
Well, I
Like,
text sorry a lot. Sorry about that.
so I think you can go into your shortcuts and you can, like, mess with somebody. If someone tried to type V, you can change it to, like, I don't know. Either way, you can go in and you can make shortcuts where something autocorrects to something else.
Every time I try to use the F word, it does
duck.
And it drives me crazy. Dude, I like that word.
At least I think when everybody sees duck from you, they know what you're trying to say.
Thank you. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think you're
But
probably
either
right.
way, like I'm at a loss, man. Like I don't know how you would mistype. Mistype doesn't make sense. I could see it auto-correcting.
Dude, he's done.
You think so? He's indefinitely suspended.
Dude, he is. I'm sorry, dude. You don't come back from this one. Like, you can make mistakes. There's just certain mistakes. Like, right. I mean, he might get I'm talking about with this team, in my opinion. He's going to have to leave teams and become a radio announcer, I think, somewhere else. Like, this is going to not. I don't know, man. Maybe not. I still just don't, like.
They're going to investigate. Now, I want to know what this investigation pulls up, because you look at Grant Napier, the guy that got fired from the Kings.
Yep.
Like, there was things before that
yes, there was.
that people had said about him.
And that was just a flag situation.
Right? So I wonder what will come out of the investigation on John Fockey, but I don't know if you necessarily fire him just for that. It's just like a ridiculous mistake. It's like hard to believe that you could possibly make that mistake if you were just typing out nuggets.
Nuggets. No, I type out nuggets all the time, by the way. But not about, well, anyway. I say, yo, you got any nuggets? They're like, yeah, I'm watching them right now. It never comes out as the other word. You know what I'm saying?
Never.
It
doesn't autocorrect that way.
I just now remembered. I have typed nuggets in probably over 1,000 times in my life, I mean. Like way before, like yesterday. Or today. Well, I haven't typed it today.
So you think he's done? You think this is fireable?
Bro, I think this is like, I'm sorry. This is not cool. This is so not cool.
Like, I'm just lost. Of course it's not cool, but it's like, I don't feel bad for him, obviously, but it's like, how does this happen? Like, he clearly didn't mean to do it. That's the thing that I don't understand. You wouldn't come out with an apology like that if you didn't mean to do it.
Let me tell you something. What is that old saying? The intention, the road to hell is paved on good intentions.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
I am.
Good job, buddy.
Next story, man.
And by the way, Isaac also said your phone doesn't autocorrect nuggets to this unless there is something you type all the time.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you very much.
No question.
I said that earlier. Isaac, I agree with you unequivocally. Isaac's with us. Now, I got to get on to some other things that are pretty funny. And one is, I love UFOs. Thank you very much, Gabe Kuhn, who's turning me to a complete UFO nut. Did you hear about have you ever heard about Captain, and I can't say, Juraj Holland of the Air Force down in, he's in Brazil? Like, they have actually an Air Force in Brazil. Did you know that?
I would have figured. I feel like all these countries, most of these countries,
yeah, they actually have
probably have Air Force.
Yeah, I was kind of impressed.
Seems semi-necessary.
Oh, I mean, when you just see some of the other things that you see, you're like, damn, I can't believe they got an Air Force. Like,
okay, but what about it?
Well, dude, he has said that there was they didn't shoot it down, but this guy has come out and Brazilian government is backing him up. This is also with the MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, and they're going to also put this on TV. But in 1977, they said there was a huge, like, Brazilian, Portuguese, all this stuff was like people were like they were getting together, and they said they had like 6 different fighter jets going after this UFO and shooting it. And guess what? It didn't kill the UFO, but the UFO actually did knock one of them out of the air. And like, so it's like one of the first quote attacks. So it is hey, I don't know, man. But
wait, when this happened?
1997, and it's going to show up on this weekend on the MUFON, whatever that show is, alien thing that I like to watch. You know what it is, ancient aliens, but now it's the unidentified.
Okay, so we have talked about this, man. Like, I'm into that stuff, but you took it to a whole new level.
Heck
I
yeah,
feel like
I
you
did.
watch it at a extreme rate.
No, I mean when sports are off and it's 12 o'clock and I can't go to sleep, I can always fall asleep
History
to that.
Channel.
Yeah, just turn on.
You
the
fall
History
asleep to
Channel.
that? It doesn't freak you out?
No, it doesn't freak me out.
No.
I mean, it's not like I really believe, and I mean, if they're gonna come get me, what am I gonna do?
You don't believe?
Well, I mean, I believe.
Come on now.
Okay. Here's what I'm saying is, I just don't believe, like Cartman used to say, I'm not afraid of being anal probed. Is basically what I'm trying to say. I know that's a lot of the main fear.
Oh, God.
I'm just not.
That is not the main fear.
Well, if you watch South Park.
If you watch South Park, it may be.
That's the
but
main
no.
fear in South Park. Cartman always used to tell me, I don't want to get abducted by aliens. I'm just afraid of it, you know? So that's what I'm saying. I ain't afraid because I just don't believe that's happening. If they're going to come and get me, heck, they ain't going to come and get me. I'll talk too much. I'm annoying. I don't sit down very often. Unless they got like some good nuggets. And I'm talking about like the Denver Nuggets. I'll just go to Colorado. Anyway, John Fockey. Have a great, great career, buddy. Play-by-play guy for the Charlotte Hornets. I think you're done, buddy. Now, and by the way, also, I do have to admit one more thing that I have to say this. I do feel bad because he did have a very genuine apology. Like, I'm going to have to give him credit on that one. And I know you said it, but the reason I brought that up in the apology, Michael Jordan ain't giving this dude no apology.
Either way, there's like certain mistakes that like I can't feel bad about. Like,
yes. It was a very nice apology.
Hey, just to when you send a tweet, double check what it says, okay?
Yes. Now,
like make sure you don't have any spelling errors, and certainly make sure you don't have that word in it.
Well, we're going to find out this weekend about the Brazilian attack from UFOs. It's going to be fascinating. We also know that John Fockey made a very big mistake, and guess what else we also know? Michael Jordan ain't sending no apology letters to nobody. Did you hear about this? The man who murdered his father is going to get parole in 2023. And you know who ain't very happy? MJ. I don't blame him at all. I'd be ticked off. 45-year-old Larry Demir, who pled guilty to first-degree murder, armed robbery, and conspiracy to commit robbery in 1996 in connection with the murder of Michael Jordan's father, James Sr. Well, guess what? He's going to be freed in 2023 after he got granted parole on Tuesday. MJ, basically, people are saying he is absolutely furious. I bring this up for two reasons. One, he's Michael Jordan. The dude murdered somebody, you know what I mean, and admitted to it, and he's going to get parole. But my buddy, not my buddy, I don't know him, but dude who is serving there's a dude right now for pot serving life. You know that? So you're going to tell me that you can murder somebody and you can get parole. But once they had back in the day, thanks Joe Biden, when they did that 3 strikes you're out, you can't get out of jail because you got busted selling pot 3 times? Again, he wasn't selling crack, he wasn't selling coke, he wasn't selling heroin or fentanyl, wasn't even around. Not even LSD or mushrooms. He was selling a little pot, by the way, which this government tax in the state that he is in, by the way, guess what? Legalized cannabis. How the hell is he still in jail? I don't even understand that. Anyway, I brought that up because, you know me, nobody should be serving time in prison for smoking a little bit of reefer. And the fact that Michael Jordan is going to, actually, y'all know he left baseball. I mean, this was his father was murdered. And by the way, dude didn't even go to jail till 96. Man, I'm sorry, 25 years, 26 years, whatever it is, for murder? I don't know, man. Larry Demir, I'd stay away from Michael Jordan, man. Tell you that much. I'd hate for Mike to find you. Now, do you have another funny one, or do you want me to drop this bad boy?
Drop whatever you got, man.
Man, I'm going to drop it like it's hot. Now, I have to actually say, first and foremost, I told you about the cyclist who fell off the bridge, right?
Yeah, I saw the video.
You saw the video, so you finally watched the video? Dude, was that scary as hell?
More than that, man. I thought he was going to die.
Well, I did too, but did you see the guy who dropped the video from one of the highest points in the world? Have you not seen this one? So, I told you about my man, Mike.
Where are you finding these videos, by the way?
All these flat earthers, the flat earth people, they're hilarious videos, bro. So, Mike died in the rocket that he made himself and shot up and went into video. He didn't make it, man. Mike, rest in peace. But some homie climbed all the way to the world's tallest thing, like in Norway or something, and proved that the Earth is circumference from all the flat earthers. And then the homie dropped off the jump in like one of those wing suits, like he was a damn squirrel, and did the base jumping thing. One of the coolest videos I've ever seen. But I ain't gonna lie to you, my pants could have been like that shark. You know what I mean? I almost have thought I was gonna have to pull out my defense mechanism. I was freaking out. That is a scary video. And I jump out of airplanes. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier to jump out of an airplane when you know you got a pack on than watching some dude. Because at first, I didn't
What's
know
your
he had
defense
a pack.
mechanism again?
Remember, if a shark ever comes near me, I'm going full skunk. Just a skunk gets scared, they let out the dirtiness. All the dirtiness I got is coming out, baby. I'm turning that beautiful blue water, what do we say, brown. Now, I got to tell you about the weird one, the pop singer. All right. Last but not least, I told you about the pop singer that you've never heard of, okay? Because he's Romanian. And I don't think you listened to... Did you know that there's a thing called Romanian pop funk?
No.
Well, that's what it says in the article. Okay?
You listened to it?
No, I've never listened to a song. But I did watch this man's video, and it is very sad. So, he is a very big star, okay? He's 29 years old. He's a Romanian super punk rocker. And you know how like Kim Kardashian and all those people videotape themselves in their car? Well, he was in the passenger seat now, and he was doing like a TikTok or an Instagram, Twitter, whatever, and he's videotaping. His song came on the radio, okay? So he starts singing to the video. He's also smoking a cigarette. His wife is driving. You see her for just a second. And you can tell that they pull up to a cross, like where the cross thing was. She looks to the left, looks to the right, then starts to drive. Somehow she doesn't see the train. And watching the video, the last thing you see is his face, the look of absolute damn horror. And then it goes dark. They're both gone. The train always wins. People, do not. When I was a child, I lost a friend to, it happens for some reason out at Bailey Station. Always tell your people, I don't care if those things are down, I don't care if they're up, stop and look both ways. Because trains, they cannot stop, and they always win. And this has all the people in Romania mourning today. But again, you watch the video, and the dude's cigarette just kind of drops out of his mouth, and the look on his face, dude, it'll stick with you for the rest of your life. Scary as can be. But I got to also tell you, I got some other scary news, and it has to do with the NBA. On the other side, don't touch that dial. Sports 56, 96.1. Never forget Chad Gatlin and MemphisFarmers.com, 87.7 FM.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through
to strangers and some to folks you know. Holy Ghost and talk show hosts are planted in the sand to beautify the foothills, shake the many hands. There's nothing on the top of the bucket and a mop and an illustrated book about birds. You see a lot up there, but don't be scared. Who needs Jackson when you got words?
Welcome back into Little Sports 56 Happy Hour with your good buddy Johnny Radio and Gabe Kuhn. Yes, there's some disturbing videos that we talked about. John Fockey, he sent out some disturbing stuff and apologized. Told you about the person who basically proved my man and all the flat earthers wrong yesterday. That's probably the dopest video I've ever seen. But the Romanian pop singer, that will make you cry. Another thing, if you're a Bucks fan, you're probably crying right now because it's 109-97. Oh, yeah, 109-97 with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Magic are beating the Bucks by 12 points. This is really happening, people. Dude, I could have gotten the Magic plus 700, but I didn't play that game. Who thought the Magic could beat the Bucks? Unbelievable. I don't know if it's going to happen. 5 minutes left, 12-point game. You never know in the NBA. But right now, we know the first big moment was Kristaps Porzingis getting that double tech and having to leave that Mavs-Clippers game. Today could be the second what if. What is Giannis? What is the Greek Freak? Is this the real deal? Holyfield, how can they come out the number one seed overall and lose to the Magic in game one? If they end up losing, people are going to lose they're just going to lose their minds. Speaking of losing things, Fernando Tatis, I would lose it on his coach because he shouldn't apologize. Plus, I would like to remind you, do you not remember they threw at Manny Machado? Like, dude, I'm glad he hit the home run. He took up for his teammate by not fighting, but by just showing him up on the field. They tried to hit Manny Machado. He decided to hit a late home run. Fair is fair. The Heat play at 3 o'clock right after the show, but don't worry, Wolo and my man, Brett Norsworthy, but he's not going to be here. It's going to be Drew Barrett. So you got Wolo, Drew Barrett, sports time 3 to 6. And yes, you have the Heat and the Pacers. Wolo's also going to talk about the new top 25 without the Big Ten and the Pac-12. It's going to be fascinating. Don't forget at 5:30, you have the Thunder and the Rockets. And then tonight, the Trailblazers and the Lakers at 8 o'clock. Dame time. Ooh, and LeBron James. I think that's going to be awesome. But I also want to remind you, MLB baseball is going on. The Rockies and Astros 0-0 right now. I don't know how but the Cardinals, man, they won the first one, lost the second one. Cubs came back and win, but they play again tonight, 7:15. It's going to be a fascinating game as Yu Darvish, who can't pitch really well, but then can pitch really well. He's as confusing as all get out. We'll see what happens, but he's going against Ponce de Leon for the Cardinals. It'll be an interesting game. That one right now has the Cubs minus 196. I will tell you, if you're going to make a play today, it's very, very simple. It is the Athletics versus the Diamondbacks. Why is that? Well, because his name is Dreamweaver. Luke is his real name, and he can't win a game. 0-3 for the year with 11.85 ERA. He only has 17 strikeouts. For the number of innings pitched and also compared to his strikeouts and walk ratio, he's tied for 81st in the league. That's really bad. And when your whip is over 1.3, that's walks, hits, innings pitched, 1.3 is a horrible number. You got to stay under 1.3. His is 2.12. Yeah. Athletics, they can hit the hell out of the baseball. Simeon, Olsen, Chapman, Piscotty, man, just watch out. It's going to get really nasty. Don't forget about Khan. I like it. I think the Arizona team who came back and won late last night, the easy play of the day, Oakland lay the minus 150 and just celebrate. Now let's watch the Trailblazers and Lakers tonight. Let's see what happens because right now the Magic are still up on the Bucks, 112.99 with 4:20 to go. What a great number. Whatever y'all do, though, remember, from Gabe Kuhn, I'm John Harden. Get out there. Make this world a better place. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace.